So here we have it, the year is 2021, the brand new fragrance released from the House of Creed. Of course, this is the follow-up to the popular Viking, and this bright, fresh, citrusy iteration of Viking is called Viking Cologne. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new fragrance by Creed, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Viking Cologne by Creed, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxing, special guests, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell icon. So of course, I do own a bottle of the original Creed Viking. It's a fragrance that I acquired right when it came out, and I actually wore through it a pretty good amount, I would say. It's very bright, fresh, a little minty. It has like this green backbone in there. This one is also minty. It doesn't actually have mint in the note breakdown, but it has geranium, which can give off a minty vibe, and I feel like the pink pepper that's used in here complements it pretty well. So what I've seen, especially with Aventus, is they came out with Aventus first, and then they came out with Aventus for her. They totally bypassed that here. There is no Viking for her. And then of course they came out with Navitus Cologne, which is a shared composition. And then I'm guessing we have something very similar going on with this one. So it still retains a lot of those green notes in there. There's still a little bit of that patchouli in the base. There's vetiver in here as well. There's a little bit of olibanum, aka frankincense, in the base of this fragrance too. But then it also has a lot of citrus in the opening. So it has like lemon, bergamot, mandarin orange. It also has pink pepper, but then you have some aromatic notes in the heart as well, including clary sage. In any case, I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new fragrance by Creed. Let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you know you are smelling a sibling or a cousin of Viking. So Viking has this characteristic smell about it where as soon as you apply it, it's bright, citrusy, green, minty at the same time. It almost has like this classic masculine feel about it. Not to suggest that it smells like a fragrance that would have been released in the 70s or 80s, but it almost takes like the best of those worlds, but modernizes it to a great degree. And I pretty much, enjoy Viking for what it's capable of doing, sort of putting me in that mindset, but I feel like it's also a very versatile composition. What we've seen happening here in Viking Cologne is they made it that much more versatile. So of course, whenever you brighten something up by adding citrus in it, whether it be bergamot or yuzu or mandarin or grapefruit, I don't think it really matters. It's going to make it fresher, brighter, and I think for that reason it's going to make it a little bit more versatile. And so if you found the original to be a little bit too heavy-handed on the green side, I feel like that has sort of been taken away with this fragrance. If you found the original to be a little bit too minty, there's still that heart in this fragrance, and so you're still going to smell the geranium, you're still going to smell that rosiness with the pink pepper, playing a really nice combination with the geranium, I would say, but at the same time, you're also going to get that bright effervescent touch in the opening, which is clearly coming from the orange, the lemon, and the bergamot. Now, truth be told, I think the citrus that I'm getting the most of in here is the lemon. And so I'm getting a lot of that lemon. It comes across very minty. And then you can also sort of smell something clean yet green residing in the base. And that's why I'm convinced that it's more having to do with the vetiver as opposed to the patchouli. The patchouli for me can come across smelling a little bit earthy. I'm not getting too much of that in here. But there's also something in the heart that I could have sworn was juniper berry. And I'm not actually getting too much juniper berry from this one, because once I saw the note breakdown, I said, oh, okay, that's what it is. So I think it's the rosemary in tandem with the clary sage. And here's why I said I thought initially it was juniper berry. It kind of reminds me of Dolce & Gabbana K. Now, of course, it's not a carbon copy. It's not 100% similar, but I do see there being some similarities in here. And one could also compare this to 360 for Men by Perry Ellis. And so I kind of find that to be a little bit similar to Dolce & Gabbana K. So if you're familiar with that woodsy aromatic quality that I'm talking about from 360 for Men, but also K, I think you're going to get something kind of similar in this one, except it smells like the niche version of those fragrances, if that makes sense. So you're going to get more citrus in there. You're also going to get more of that geranium in the heart, which is kind of adding a minty tone. So ultimately, I think if you are a fan of those bright, citrusy, aromatic, slightly woodsy fragrances, especially Dolce & Gabbana K or Perry Ellis 360 for Men, if you kind of like that juniper berry type astringent quality, I think you'll enjoy this one. And of course, this sort of carries with it that freshness that Creed fragrances are known for. But in any case, that was my assessment of the smell. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I think it's definitely unique enough to warrant a purchase if you are a fan of the original, but you want something that is perhaps a little bit brighter, a little bit fresher, more of an emphasis on the citrus. But of course, it's not totally unique because it is a flanker of Viking. So we can expect for there to be a little bit of similarity between those two fragrances. In terms of the overall smell, I think it's very easy to get along with. It does strike me as the type of fragrance that you would get compliments from. And so if that's your thing, you're just looking for something that comes across smelling very professional, something that is an office safe type of a fragrance, I think you'll certainly find it with this one. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 6 to 7 hours on your skin. Projection was great for the first 2 hours of application because of all that citrus, and then at that 5-hour mark it actually starts to sit a little bit closer to the skin. In terms of the versatility, here's where I think it shines. I think this is a very versatile fragrance, and the same can be said about the original Viking, sure, but I think it's timed very appropriately because it just came out just in time for the spring, the summer, you know, the hotter weather. And so I think that this would fare pretty well in the hotter weather. I can also see somebody wearing this pretty comfortably in the autumn as well. Perhaps in the winter time, you want to wear something like Spice and Wood or Royal Oud or some of the heavier offerings from Creed, Sublime Vanille, even if that's your thing. And I think that this one is still leaning on the masculine side. I also see this one catering to the likes and the sensibilities of somebody who's a little bit older as opposed to like a high school student or something like that. At the end of the day, if you like the way that it smells, these are just recommendations. I am a proponent of you wearing what you love to wear, and so, you know, don't let anybody deter you from doing that. And then in terms of the presentation, I actually do like the bright orange color to it. It makes it feel a little bit more citrusy, and so I kind of like the direction that they were going with. However, I'm always a fan of new original releases, not flankers, and I think we kind of saw what happened with Viking, and you know, there was a lot of hype surrounding Viking, and sure enough, there are a lot of people who love Viking, right? And so I'm always curious to see what are some original releases that a brand can come up with that, you know, can sort of give us a brand new olfactory experience as opposed to a twist of an existing formula. But nevertheless, my final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of the way that Creed does citrus and you also like that green, slightly mossy and minty thing that's going on in Viking, I think you'll enjoy this one. It's a brighter, fresher take on the original Viking. You guys know when it comes to the House of Creed, for me, I love Aventus, I love Millésime Imperial. Erolfa is a great one that doesn't get as much attention. And so Viking is probably 5th or 6th on my list of favorites. But nevertheless, I do enjoy Viking, and I can certainly see myself wearing this one a lot in the hotter weather as well. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my fragrance review of Viking Cologne by Creed. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. I know it's brand new, but if you have tried it, leave a comment down below. Always interested in starting a discussion over that. Also, if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, you took something of value from this video and you're not subscribed to this channel, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button down below. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.